All right, boys, winter cut day 63. I actually deleted my intro on accident. It was like 20 minutes long. It was just me making breakfast and stuff and enjoying myself and then talking to you guys about some random stuff. But I still got some clips of me walking, so I'm going to put those in. All right, boys, little night walk we got going here. So I procrastinated my walk a fair amount, but it was in order to edit for a little bit, enjoy my freaking meal that I had, my little breakfast of champions, you know. And yeah, I just enjoyed myself overall and got to do some cool things. But in terms of editing, I figured out that instead of having like a cropped video and then having black bars over top and bottom, what I could do is I could overlay a blurred video behind the original and kind of just have more going on at the screen at once. And, you know, I could take it the extra mile and put like Trackmania and freaking, you know, like GTA crash courses or whatever. But I'm not gonna do that. I don't really have any interest in doing that. Although people are doing that with all kind of clips these days, and those videos are getting a lot of views. But I'll tell you what, that's only part of the equation, right? It probably helps audience retention to a small degree, but the key to actually getting a lot of views and making videos that do well is making high quality content, right? And the only way you can really make high quality content is if your heart is in it, or if you got an AI doing everything for you. Those are really the only two ways, right? So I'm doing this right now and just kind of putting my heart in it. I love doing this. And because I actually love doing it and my heart's in it, the content is higher quality. And you know, it's gonna continue to get better, right? This is nowhere near as good as my content will be as I go on and continue to improve and learn more about it. And I'll tell you what, something that's encouraging to look at is like my analytics overall. And every metric, it's just continual increase, right? And that's just from consistency, right? You're gonna see growth in whatever area you put effort in consistently. And that goes for pretty much anything. So, yeah, you know, and I think the same thing applies to muscle growth. And it mainly applies to muscle growth, right? That's the whole thing. Effort over time on a consistent basis. That's gonna allow more muscle growth. And so what I wanna do is, guys, I'm going to take off the limits. Totally take off the limit and just say, you know what? I don't care about the natural limit. I don't care about this or that or how much muscle I can gain or whatever. I'm just gonna train hard, do what I like, and expect results from what I do, you know, and really just really enjoy the process. And, you know, this is more of a little bro science conversation we're having here towards the end, little bro science topic. But we know how strong placebo can be, right? And let's say there is genuinely a massive natural limit and just a cap on your muscle growth, right? Which I don't even believe in the first place scientifically. But let's say there's a genuine cap. I'm gonna choose to go, you know what? I'm just gonna bypass all that because I believe strongly that I really need to be the Incredible Hulk. And if I believe that I need to be the Incredible Hulk, you mean to tell me that there's not anything to be had from that? There's not any gains to be had from just consistently believing that I need to be the most jacked, lean person on the planet? You know, even if it never happens, probably won't, right? Probably not gonna be Greg Kovacs, okay? That guy was a beast. I think having that belief will only reinforce the hard work that I'm putting in. And it'll make me believe that this is something very important, right? Which to me, it's already really important, but that heavy emphasis makes it even more valuable. So start believing in yourself, man. Why, dude? You know, I've had that on my mind for a long time, but I could never really find a way to put it into words. And I just put it into words there. Very, very happy about that. But yeah, we're going down a hill right now. No street lights near here. Pretty freaking dark. If I had only gone earlier, it would have been pretty sweet, but it's fine. So I was actually planning on hitting shoulder day today, but I ended up not being able to make it to the gym. So that was a little bit of a surprise, but to be honest, guys, it's probably for the better anyway, because the timing of my shoulder day is iffy. I feel like I don't understand how people put shoulder days into their weekly program, seeing as chest day involves so much overlap, right? You're using your triceps and your shoulders a fair amount on chest day. So, you know, with that said, I really don't understand, like, how are people able to manage that fatigue and recover and adequately stimulate muscle growth while they have that much fatigue overlap? And I would say that's from a volume reduction. If you wanted to be really technical about it, right? Like, if you have really reduced volume, you can hit chest like multiple times a week, even though chest takes forever to recover. If you have just super low volume, you're not training to failure, you're using RPE and everything, yeah, you could do that. But I'm not really a big fan of that. So I don't know, maybe if I started using things like RPE and, you know, trained like a rep shy of failure, which is what I would be comfortable with. I think that maybe that would allow for a potential really effective shoulder day, but even then I would also have to use RPE on shoulder day. I just think that my shoulders overall have a really interesting factor. So I'm really strong at overhead press, proportional to all my other lifts, okay? And that's part of the reason I'm reluctant to even hit shoulders, because they're so dominant on my chest day especially. But literally, guys, when I was peak bulk 183-ish, okay, 186 if I ate a lot, I was hitting 175 for reps on shoulder press standing, okay? Now, granted, that was in wraps and everything, but still extremely impressive. Now I'm hitting, you know, on the Smith machine, I could hit 175 seated for like a set of 5 with great range of motion and a pause in the bottom and everything. So, you know, that begs the question, if my overhead press is that similar to my bench, then maybe I need to do some chest ultimate specialization, okay? Because literally, like, I failed 225 on an incline bench the other day. I couldn't even get it up for a rep. Now, granted, I was trying to control it a crap ton because I just thought it would be easier for whatever reason, but couldn't even get a rep. Barely got it off my chest, like 1.5 inches. But, you know, now though, I could do, like I said, 175 for like a crisp set of 5 on seated Smith machine shoulder press with like super control. And, you know, I could incline press on the Smith machine like 205 for 4 or 5 with super control. So there's only a 30-pound disparity in my incline bench versus my overhead press. I don't know if that's normal or not, but it gets even worse, kind of, when you look at like my flat bench. 225 is pretty hard for me on flat bench right now. But yet I feel like still, again, the shoulder pressing strength makes up the majority of my pressing strength overall. So that takes me back to this theory I've thought in my mind, okay, for a long time now, which is if I just got stupid strong at chest flies, maybe that would just be all I need. I've just always felt like that was the missing link, right? Like the missing piece to the puzzle. Maybe if I just got really strong at any kind of chest fly, any kind, then maybe my chest development would skyrocket. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I don't believe incline dumbbell or really many dumbbell movements at all that are more compound. I don't believe they're super effective because of motor unit recruitment, right? As compared to their ultra stable alternatives like Smith machine. Now, I'm not saying that dumbbell doesn't work. I think it works amazingly still, right? But as opposed to something really stable, motor unit recruitment is gonna be slightly worse. But people always say, bodybuilders have been saying for a long time now, the stretch and contraction of dumbbells is always way better, especially on like incline dumbbell. So I might have to make the switch, guys, because that's more like a fly than most other chest variations I can do, and there's a converging effect. So, all right, I just ran out of storage space on my phone, so I had to freaking delete a bunch of videos. But dude, people always say the converging effect is valuable on any kind of chest movement. So, and I've always felt like I'm missing that piece of the puzzle. So I'm thinking freaking dumbbell press might have to be the way to go. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things, I don't know if it can be beat. I was crapping on it the other day, okay? And I was saying, well, you know, the motor unit recruitment makes me not want to ever switch from Smith machine. But I think that might be me kind of limiting potential gains, because as somebody who is nowhere near their natural potential, okay, I have a lot of not only strength gains, but hypertrophy gains to be made. And so motor unit recruitment isn't as big of a concern because it's very easy for me to access the highest threshold muscle fibers, right? Because I am not an extremely experienced lifter yet. Whereas if you're extremely advanced, those guys have to isolate to the best of their ability the target muscle, so that way their central nervous system can focus energy and continue to progressive overload and access the highest threshold motor units, okay? So it's kind of like a game of how much energy can you direct. But the thing is, you know, directing that energy is much easier whenever you are a beginner, because you don't have that much muscle to actually target to begin with. You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think, I mean, listen, I've seen some massive guys swear by dumbbell presses. So obviously the motor unit recruitment isn't that bad, right? Like if they were swearing by like a clean and jerk, I'd be like, dude, the range of motion's awful, right? Really humongous. There's a bunch of muscles being used. You're allocating energy to a bunch of places. And if we're talking about pure bodybuilding, right? Now, if we're talking about getting stronger at Olympic lifts, that's amazing, awesome, right? But in terms of pure actual muscle growth and muscle development, right? You're gonna wanna look at the bodybuilders and what they're doing. So, freaking dumbbell incline, I gotta do it, I'm throwing it in. You know, although I will say this, holy crap, it's unstable, dude, for me when I'm being light. Like, I remember even when I was in the bulk, I would get shaky on the incline dumbbell. But now I'm thinking, maybe I just need to get used to it. I wonder how well it'll translate. Like, if I get better at stabilizing an incline dumbbell, right? How much more will that have an effect to increase my potential for motor unit recruitment on incline Smith where it's stable, you know? I do wonder that. Holy crap, guys, it's dark. Oh my gosh. I can't see anything. At least I can see what's in front of me. So, anyway, enough of that incline freaking dumbbell press talk. We're gonna talk about freaking, oh, let's lighten up. I'm gonna talk about freaking something else. I don't even know what's on the agenda. I mean, that breakfast earlier was pretty freaking big. I'm gonna say it was probably overestimating, maybe not 1,000 calories, because that was like 2 cups of Kodiak cake mix plus 4 eggs, like a tablespoon of butter, probably 3 servings of chocolate chips, multiple servings of syrup, several servings of whipped cream. That was probably 1,100, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. But, and I bet some of you could calculate that because you're, you know, weird in a good way. I wish I was that kind of weird. But, so we have 1 meal left in the day, approximately. All right, that was a fair amount of protein at the beginning, right? We had 24 from the eggs and probably like, I don't know, like 30 from the pancakes. So we got 54 from that. And we have a lot of leftover rotisserie chicken, which I think I'm gonna allow myself to have like a pound of that with some hot sauce and some seasoning. And that should be, you know, enough for me to get in my daily protein and still be in a really big deficit. So what I like about this approach is, like I was saying earlier, I'm getting the fats, I'm getting the carbs, right? And I'm not gonna be losing weight as quick, but I'm gonna actually be leaner by the end of my cut than I otherwise would be if I just was like, all right, let me stop eating and only eat chicken. So again though, I think extremely aggressive dieting like that could have its place for like a week or two, which is pretty much what I did, right? I did like 2.5 weeks of kind of chicken only. I had some cheat meals in there, but I don't know. So we're across the street here. So some good news. I might be getting a compact, storage friendly treadmill. And I really like keeping a clean room. So if I could have this treadmill, guys, right? It can go up to, I believe, 4 miles an hour, which is perfect. I could just walk for like 2 hours and burn a crap ton of calories, get in my cardio, right? And I'd be golden. I'd be absolutely golden. I could walk at any time of the day. I could get in, you know, easy 20, 30,000 steps. And I think in order to get shredded, especially towards the end of my cut, that's gonna be an extremely useful asset, right? And it's a little promotional deal, so we'll see. It's in the works, but you guys might see me promoting this treadmill, which seems really cool. So anyway, I'm almost home. So I will see you guys, I don't know, in a little bit, maybe on the bike for cardio. All right. All right, boys. I had a great day today. We are nearing the end of my day. And a little update on the rotisserie chicken earlier. I had, it must have been 1.5 pounds at least. I've never felt that disgusted by chicken in my life because there was so much of it. I mean, it must have been 2 pounds. It was a cube that was like here to here. Very huge. Like bigger. Honestly, I would think it was about as big as my head. So, absolutely huge, dude. Like, I was like, I never want to eat chicken again. It was that much chicken. Had hot sauce on it, seasoning on it. And I mean, I seasoned it well. It was good hot sauce and everything, but it was just so much. It made me never want to eat chicken again. I mean, I'll eat it, but gosh. I mean, dude, that was awful. Anyway, I had that with sauerkraut on the side, since sauerkraut has barely any calories. And a lot of sauerkraut. I ended up actually logging my entire day on Chronometer today, which is something I don't usually do, but I liked it. So I was like, you know what? It seems kind of ideal right now, so let me just do it. The calories of the day ended up being about 1,900, roughly. So, you know, when you're not weighing stuff, you can't really get too accurate with it, but, you know, I knew the measurements of the things I was using. So, that helped tremendously. But yeah, we have probably just a whole day of walking to look forward to tomorrow. We'll see. I mean, if I feel like it. That sounds kind of bad, but it's true if I feel like it. And yeah, I mean, I'm actually really, I mean, I don't mean to hype up this treadmill too much, but guys, I am genuinely pretty excited for it. So, anyway, it's going to make walking a lot easier. Take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.